This is a unique request from Stephen McBroom, and I really do apologize for the delay in this one, but I was just trying to see how to go about this one. This is a Super 6 tournament featuring the following fighters: Andre Ward, Roy Jones Jr., Canelo Alvarez, James Toney, Bernard Hopkins, Joe Calzaghe. So the way I'm going to do this is going to be arbitrary. I'm going to match up the fighters in each fight the way that I see this going in my head, and the ones that I think will be standing at the end of this tournament, ultimately declaring a winner. So once again, Andre Ward, Roy Jones, Canelo, James Toney, Bernard Hopkins, Joe Calzaghe. And who I have in the first fight is Bernard Hopkins versus Joe Calzaghe. They already fought. Calzaghe beat Bernard. Some feel that Bernard won. I think the judges called it right in this one. The fight was close. But I know what you're going to say. What if Joe Calzaghe fought Bernard Hopkins when Bernard Hopkins was in his prime? Well, think about this. Bernard was better beyond his prime than he was in his prime. And I think Joe Calzaghe beat one of the best versions of Bernard Hopkins. I mean, Bernard just got better with time. But it's the styles. I always say the styles. And Joe Calzaghe was just too awkward and too busy for Bernard. As great as Bernard Hopkins was, he hated pressure. He hated busy fighters. And he could be easily outworked. I have the same results. Okay. I have Canelo Alvarez versus James Toney. Styles makes fights. I know you all get tired of me preaching that. I'm tired of preaching it, but it's the truth. And the truth will set you free. Canelo Alvarez versus James Toney. Despite the criticisms that Canelo gets, I feel that he's a great fighter and has accomplished great things. At the end of the day, you can't fight everybody. But I feel that he's fought the fights or the fighters that count. However, slick, elusive fighters with hand speed, footwork, gives Canelo the most trouble. And James Toney fits that bill. Slick fighter, throws punches from all angles, great defense, just cagey in there. So as great as Canelo is, and I'm a Canelo fan, I feel that James Toney wins this one. Andre Ward versus Roy Jones Jr. This one's going to be unpopular. Roy Jones was a freak of nature in his prime. Prime Roy Jones, no one was beating that guy. And Roy Jones barely got hit in his prime. Yeah, sure, fighters landed gazing shots here and there, but nothing too significant until Tarver, of course. However, Andre Ward is better than everyone on Roy's resume, in my opinion. Andre Ward knows how to make the adjustments. Andre Ward knows how to control the distance. He knows how to close the distance. And he knows how to fight at all three ranges. So I truly feel that Andre Ward would pull off the upset in this one. Stay tuned for part 2. So here are your winners thus far. Andre Ward over Roy Jones, James Toney over Canelo, and Joe Calzaghe over Bernard Hopkins. Now, Joe Calzaghe fights James Toney. In my mind, this fight has so many similarities to James Toney's fight with Vasily Girov. Joe Calzaghe being a rugged southpaw an awkward southpaw. But I feel that Calzaghe is a little better than Giraffe. Just my opinion. He's quicker, has better footwork, throws more punches, has the better step around game, and the angles that Joe Calzaghe throws those punches are crazy. So he's just more fluent than Giraffe, in my opinion. The one thing Giraffe had on Calzaghe was power. And that's what Calzaghe lacks against James Toney. Could he get James Toney's respect? And for all the volume punching, for all the busyness and the accumulation of punches, the counter punching of James Toney was just so accurate, and the timing of it was just so superb. I really don't see Joe Calzaghe beating James Toney. I'm going to go with James Toney by decision over Joe Calzaghe. Now, James Toney is going to fight Andre Ward. Now, James Lights Out Toney was as slick as you could get and arguably had the best defense in boxing. Just elusive, perfected the Philly shell defense, shoulder roll. I'm just a very slick, cagey fighter. And so in a word, James Toney really knew what he was doing in there. But as far as Andre Ward is concerned, for some reason, I'm a fan of fighters who makes adjustments. And Andre Ward, like Floyd, knew how to make those adjustments under all circumstances. It's like he could adapt to anything in there. And like I said, Andre Ward was great at controlling the distance, fighting at all three ranges, far, mid, close. Andre Ward could box and could jab from the outside as well as roughhouse and get physical on the inside. And that's where I think he would have an advantage against Toney. Now, Toney was great fighting on the inside as far as his head movement, moving side to side, his shoulder rolls. But I think it would come down to strength. And Andre Ward was just physically strong. This final fight in this series would be a great fight between two skillful boxers. But based on the adjustments alone, I have to lean towards Andre Ward for a decision in this one. So Andre Ward wins another Super 6 tournament. Congratulations. Please let me know what you think. I'm sure you will.